because this is also pretty exciting. This is the first time I speak on a public meetup. I'm a little bit stressed. And I traveled here from Poland, especially for this meetup, for today. There's a nice picture of something. And how it turned out. 3 years ago I went on a paid workshop in NG Poland, which is Angular conference in Poland. And I was attending Michael's workshop, RxJS workshop, and we hanged out, drank some beers, and I was asking
Only one.
and asked him, yeah, I'm really amazed how you conduct the trainings, how you interact with people. Asked him a lot of questions, about histories, because I always dreamed about being a trainer, talking on conferences, but really it's not the right moment yet. And I have imposter syndrome, what I can say to people. They will ask me tough questions, and better not to shame myself, But yeah, I feel deep inside that I'd like to show up on some meetups. And Michael, without knowing me too much, I was just an attendee in this conference. He gave me a big credit of trust and said, hey Chris, when you have topic, you just write me and you'll present it in Angular Vienna, and I'll pay your stay and your flight. And okay, that's super nice, I noted it in my notice. But yeah, 3 years later, in my mind, but 3 years later, something happened. I kind of accidentally contributed to Angular. I mean, I didn't plan that. Then a friend of mine just pushed me, hey, just write a blog post about it, that's a cool story. Because I was sharing the story with every friend with passion, and he said, write a blog post about it. Then okay, I did it. It gained 13,000 of views on Twitter. Like, whoa, something happened. People were sharing, this was viral. And then a friend of mine who knows me well, and he knows that I dream about talking on conferences, said, hey Chris, go to conference, it's the perfect moment. And I thought, okay, Michael, 3 years ago, and I wrote to Michael, asked if this presentation is really suitable, is worth for showing on some meetup or conference. He said definitely. So I came here from Poland today to share with you a lot of passion and hoping to inspire you. Have you ever dreamed about becoming an open source contributor but didn't know how to start, or were too afraid? Raise hand. Me, myself, too. My name is I Krysztof Platis, and I'm happy to share with you the story how I became an Angular contributor to inspire you, which happened 3 months ago, and I'm still super excited about it. I'm a JavaScript enthusiast, fascinated with internals of Vue, React, and Angular, what's under the hood. I'm home barista by day at Draw Latte Arts, and I'm tech lead by night at SAP Spartacus core team, working as a developer at Company Divante. And probably as many of you, I never thought I could contribute to such some big project that is used by hundreds of thousands of developers around the world. Because, I thought it's really too big and an unreachable goal, and it probably takes too much time that I don't have, and, I didn't know how to start, if you ask me. And to be honest, I didn't plan to become an Angular contributor. I just discovered a not well-known plugin in Zone.js inside Angular repository. Then I accidentally found a bug there while working on this plugin. Then I created a pull request to Angular repo, and the Angular maintainers merged it. And yay, I became an Angular contributor. How cool is that? The change that I'd like to make with this presentation is to make you believe that you can also become an Angular contributor, or contributor of any third-party dependency, open source dependency that you use in your project. Just, it requires a little curiosity, digging deeper, and enjoying the journey. Let me tell you how it went for me. It all started from that I was really struggling to find out why my Angular SSR application is hanging. I only knew that it must be some pending async task that is preventing the SSR from completion, but really had no clue which one. There are plenty of asynchronous tasks in application. Which one is pending and prevents the rendering from completion? And okay, I went ahead and Googled how to track asynchronous tasks in Angular. And I learned from Stack Overflow about some really not well-known plugin called zone.js/plugins/tasks tracking, which allows for console logging all the asynchronous tasks, the pending asynchronous tasks at a given moment, just dumping them to the console. And I use this plugin in my application to console log every pending async task after 5 seconds from the start of rendering of the application. Really, the SSR should really complete before first second, so if something takes 5 seconds, it's really way beyond. And it's probably this thing that prevents SSR from completion. And yeah, it printed me the pending async task, and even pointed to exact line, this plugin, pointed to exact line in the code which caused this asynchronous task. And I knew where to fix the issue, right in the roots. I could fix it there. By the way, this async task was coming from a third-party library. So even if I've read the whole source code of my project, I wouldn't find it. So really cool plugin for this debugging SSR that is hanging. And yeah, I just fixed tweaked the config of this third-party library, therefore it was not causing any pending asynchronous task, and I could be happy with it and jump on other duties. And I wouldn't become an Angular contributor, and we wouldn't meet today. But I did the next step. I followed the curiosity, and I was really excited. I knew that this Zone.js plugin isn't really well known nor documented, and I was really excited to share knowledge about it. So I wrote a draft of a blog post, how to find out why SSR hangs, track ng-zone tasks. And I was about to publish this blog post. But I had second thought, okay, I copy-pasted the code snippet from my application that was debugging into my blog post, and I really simplified this code snippet. And I thought, okay, because I simplified that, I'm not sure if it's working. So before publishing, okay, I'll double check. And I double check, I created a fresh minimal Angular application. I added there a fresh, minimal representative pending async task, which is set interval, execute empty function, every 1 second, forever. And to my surprise, this plugin didn't log anything. And I was really intrigued. Really intrigued. So I played, maybe there is something I don't understand about this plugin. So I played a little bit with numbers and tried to console log all the pending async tasks before the first second, before the interval fires, and then it console logged it. If I just dumped the pending async tasks after the first second, it didn't log anything. And I thought, ooh, so my snippet was wrong, or I don't understand something about this plugin. Rather, I don't understand something about it, but it was already late, and yeah, I thought it's better to go sleep to feel better the next day. So close the laptop with the thought that the next time I'll have time, I'll investigate what's going on there. And the next day, I cloned the Angular repository locally to my laptop. I found the zone.js/task tracking file responsible for this little tiny plugin, and it is 82 lines of code, including code comments. So yeah, I just investigated it very carefully from top to bottom, and I found out that in line 61 there is an if statement that, to my opinion, is lacking one condition. Like, this code was removing from the array of tracked tasks any task after it's fired, but it shouldn't remove tasks that are recurring. For example, set interval. And I thought, okay, Maybe it was deliberate choice of the library author? Or maybe they just simply missed that and just left over. And the more I thought about it, I realized, it's probably a bug. Ooh, I found a bug in Angular. I was really astonished. But too bad. This plugin has a bug that prevents me from really advertising. I wanted to advertise this plugin in my blog post, but it doesn't work in every case. So should I publish my blog post? Maybe I should resign. Okay, at least I added a disclaimer paragraph to the blog post that my code snippet sometimes doesn't work because of a known bug in Zone.js plugin in Angular. But you know, referencing a known bug in Angular doesn't look credible until you reference a specific GitHub issue, right? So, to look more credible in my blog post, I went ahead and created a GitHub issue where I attached the minimal steps to reproduce, the arguments why I believe this bug is important, because this plugin really helps to debug hanging SSR if you use it. It proves really helpful. And I even added the suggestion how to fix this bug, exact line, what to change, how to fix it. And after I created this issue, I thought about just publishing the blog post. But yeah, since I created the GitHub issue, maybe Angular maintainers will fix it and I will not need this disclaimer paragraph in my blog post. Okay, I gained some hope and I was waiting for an enthusiastic reaction from Angular maintainers. I thought that they would say in the comment, "Hey Chris, thank you very much for letting us know about this bug and thank you really for letting us know how to fix it. We will fix it right away. Thank you." No, it didn't happen. They didn't seem eager to fix it right away. And after a few days of hope and waiting, I thought, okay, maybe they have higher priorities on their roadmap, and maybe it would be quicker if I create a pull request. And yeah, maybe. To be honest, I didn't believe too much in myself at that point of time that it will work. But okay, another evening, I created a pull request to Angular repository where I implemented this one simple change, added this condition to the if statement. I confirmed the Angular contributing guidelines, which are simply documentation on Angular repo, how to contribute, what the rules to follow. Including for quality, I added unit tests, but also they required unit tests in this contributing guidelines. Moreover, I followed the Git message format in my addition. And also I assigned CLA, which is Contributor License Agreement, which simply means I agreed for Google to use my code. Yeah? And then without any problems. And you know, it escalated really quickly. A few days ago I was just writing a blog post, and now I'm on a step where I created some pull requests to Angular repository, and I didn't really plan that. It just went out. I was curious, I dig deeper, and I just enjoyed it along the way. And the pull request really quickly gained attention of Angular contributors. Maybe because I've just made a job, and they only need to review it without bothering just to jump on it, write unit tests. It was just ready. And they only asked me to enhance one unit test in the code review, to add one more expect statement in unit test. And when I saw the reply from Angular maintainers of this pull request, I was really excited. And after the working hours, I opened up my laptop, quickly typed this expect statement, pushed my changes, and waited with excitement. And yeah, then next day they've run the Google pipeline, which means that my code change was validated against hundreds or thousands of projects inside Google that use Angular. That's the way how they kind of validate against real projects and a new change also. And although I thought my fix is breaking change in some terms, yeah, my fix didn't break anything in there. So the very next day, they merged my pull request to Angular main branch. And yay, I became an Angular contributor. Wow, how cool is that? I didn't expect that. And you know, when I hover my image in GitHub Angular repository, it says, hey, this guy committed to Angular repository. Yeah? How awesome it is. I didn't expect that. And this story has a few really nice benefits. First of all, I can remove a disclaimer paragraph from my blog post. That's what I wanted, that was driving me. And moreover, I also had a few really enjoyable evenings with coding, which is not the way how I usually spend evenings. Yeah? I rather spend it with family, but here I just followed the passion and it was okay. I did it for myself. I was just enjoying it, enjoying the journey. I have also a big satisfaction now because I can say, hey, I'm an Angular contributor. Of course, I still have the imposter syndrome. Like I did a really small change there, yeah, really small. But still, how it looks in portfolio, I'm an Angular contributor. Yeah? Everyone would like to have such a thing. Awesome. And most important, thanks to this story, I can now inspire you to become an Angular contributor or contribute to any open source library. Now, I'd like to encourage you, let's break ice with Angular source code. I encourage you, on your laptop where you have your commercial project, just go ahead when you have it at your hand and just go to GitHub page and clone a repository on your local folder, side by side with your commercial project. Next, when you will be working on some feature or some bug fixing in your project, then when you will be using some API that interests you, just go ahead in this additional window of VS Code and look up, investigate how it's implemented. It has two really nice benefits. First of them, you can learn from the great minds of Angular, the established, well-established programming patterns. Yeah? You can learn from, this is benefit from this perspective. But also, you can see how it's implemented under the hood. For example, for me it was really interesting to see how app initializers are implemented under the hood. I had problems in my application regarding scheduling of some app initializers, in which order they fire, and because of looking up how it's implemented under the hood, I could get a better, bigger picture and I could solve my problem. And that's the second benefit. Because you know how it's implemented under the hood, you get bigger picture. And the next time you'll be using this API and solving problems in your application, you may fix your problem quicker, possibly. And third thing, really exciting, because you have this Angular repository cloned locally, you can open it in VS Code and search for keywords in the entire code base and see everything connected. Where app initializers are defined, where are used, everything connected. You get a big picture and you can learn from it. Awesome, I love it. I want you to believe you can become Angular contributor or any open source library. It just requires a little curiosity, digging deeper, and enjoying the journey. Thank you. If you want to hear more from me, for example, if you want to hear more from me, feel free to follow me on Twitter. My handle is Krysztof Platis, and you will find there, for example, the blog post how I debug the Angular SSR, how to track those tasks, and you will find also there my future blog post, hopefully, if there will be some. And I'm really looking forward to stay in touch with you and contact after this meetup. So go ahead and find me on Twitter and let's engage. Let's write me a private message or whatever. Yeah, I'm really happy to talk to you. And especially now, do you have any questions, comments? I'm really happy to talk to you.
Would you mind switching on the lights so that we can see your face? That would be. Thank you very much.
Woo! A lot of light. Do you have any questions, comments? I'm super
Can
happy.
you show us the logging of the asynchronous stuff?
How the application was working?
Yeah, just how you use this tracking, task tracking thing.
Yeah, I can. I didn't expect that
Not,
question.
not that this question was unexpected or expected.
Yeah. Okay, so
By
surprisingly,
accident you have it prepared.
accidentally, I have it running here, and yep. So I have just minimal representative Angular application. When I run set interval empty function, basically I can remove this. This is rubbish from the past. Every 1 second, yeah, I can run something. And okay, let me run the yarn def SSR. Simply I run the SSR in my application, and then I'll request with the URL the local host, yeah, that it serves. It should simply print the, if it worked, it should print upwards, but apparently this application will never finish, this curl command, because it's hanging. This pending async task is preventing the SSR from completion. Yeah, just to show you, if I were to remove it, then the application should return some, yeah, this request should return some HTML. So, this is, again, hanging SSR application, and how to find this pending async task if it's tangled in between of your code. So, I've wrote a blog post about it. This is this one. And here I give strict instructions. First of all, import this fancy plugin. So you go anywhere, here I can import it. I import this plugin. What's next? Next, I need to look up the deep internal state of Angular ng-zone object, which is enhanced by this plugin. And this is basically looking up its deep internal properties. And I'm console logging it after, for example, 2 seconds. And I just add this code to my app module, to its constructor, and wait a few seconds. Let me make it a bit smaller. And here. What I added, I wait 2 seconds, then I run outside of Angular, I set timeout, because I want to wait a few seconds, but I don't want this waiting itself to be tracked as pending asynchronous task in the array. That's why I run outside of Angular zone, this code snippet. I look up what is tracked, what is being tracked there, and basically I want to look up for any macro tasks that are here. And let me save it. It will wait 2 seconds. Okay, I need to import zone, ng-zone. And now when I request this URL, after 2 seconds, I should be prompted with pending asynchronous tasks. But as you can see, this is what I was intrigued about. It doesn't print anything. This is Zone.js version before my contribution was done. And yeah, if I played with numbers and I could, for example, before the first second, log the pending asynchronous tasks, it would log me something. Let me make it bigger. And it points me to exact line in the code. Let me smaller again. I can hover it. Let's pretend that there is no such file. Click it. Bang. It points me either to the compiled application, because in SSR it creates one main bundle. But even though it points me to the app component set interval, that's how I can know from this thing where to look for the pending asynchronous task, which is awesome. Normally I wouldn't guess where this task comes from. So yeah, app component, and how to fix it is basically to apply the change that I made. And I did 2 steps more basically in here, because I provided steps how to reproduce, how to use this plugin. I added this disclaimer paragraph. By the way, only a few days before my patch was released. So it's still there, this disclaimer paragraph, which says, it says even what you need to change if you are using Yarn, for example. You go to Node modules, Zone.js directly, you modify those files in Node modules. This is the trick how to fix this plugin. But I created a handy library back then that simply monkey patches this bug. It overrides this default plugin, thanks to which, and it also provides a nice developer experience with which you can only import the Zone.js task tracking module instead of this non-code snippet here. Okay. You import in your app module. This is the bonus that I created. Bonus that I created for the readers of this blog post. And moreover, import here. Okay, and we have it. Just import it. Okay. What I did now is replace this whole snippet with my library code, which I open sourced. And yeah, I've put here just 2 seconds, to print with a delay. Now let me ask for it. And after 2 seconds, it printed this pending async task, because inside my library, I also monkey patched the, this is the library, and this is fixed Zone.js task tracking. I simply overwritten the prototype of the original plugin and here added my code with handling the exception if task is periodic. So simply, if you want to, bottom line, if you ever happen to have hanging SSR, go ahead to this blog post and just import this for debugging purposes. Go ahead for free. Michael, does it answer your question?
Yes, and next time you should include it in your talk. Just a suggestion, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Fancy shit.
Thank you. Still, do you have any questions, comments? I'm super happy to talk with you.
Did you fill out this GDP thing in the when you contributed to the Angular repository? You need to fill out a form online, or you click OK on this.
Excuse
is
me,
it still a process?
Could you repeat? And also, there was a question from back there. Wouldn't you mind if we?
You're the boss.
No,
You're the boss.
No, please,
So please go ahead.
No, please, Michael, please
Okay.
continue so that we can finish that topic. Thank you.
I was interested in if it is still a process, because I didn't click in there for a long time, that you have to assign to, I don't know, obey some rules, tralala, in GitHub before you can even contribute to it. Because before you can even open up a PR, you need to obey to some rules. Is it still the case?
Yeah, you need to sign this contributor license agreement, which you should. In the contributor guidelines, you should have this link, how to do it. All the things explained. If you go to GitHub, the internet, okay, basically, maybe without going to exact page, yes, there are rules that you need to obey, and this basically what I showed. I followed the commit message format, the added unit test, and so on. Yeah? That's the required thing. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, after your enthusiasm you got out of your success, did you then go through Angular's issue lists and see what you can contribute next?
That's a great question. Going to how you can contribute, yeah. Because I found some bug, yeah, and I went ahead and fixed that. Maybe, yeah, myself, I didn't went ahead and also chased for other bugs in the repository. But that's really nice way how you can engage with Angular repository. First clone them and go ahead and break the ice with Angular source code. But also, if you want to engage with Angular and fix some bug, I really encourage you to check issues with the label good first issue. Let's go ahead. Help wanted, something like that. Label help wanted. There are a few of them that you can help. Even Angular maintainers just label them as that. Or you can look for good first issue. it changes from time